everyone. Welcome. Hi everyone. Welcome to a new live stream. How's it going? I hope everything is well. Today we are going to learn about the verb usar in Spanish. This is a very common verb used in Spanish. We will learn four meanings of the verb usar. 4 meanings. Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe and also click on the bell icon so you can get notified every time I live stream. I want to give a big shout out to our Cafecito members, James White, Brianna L., Nick Ross, James Mullin, Robert Green, Michael Lee, Gregory Ramirez, Ralph Marquez, Ruby Brockenberry, Christopher Michael, William Lopez, and David Beaver. Thank you guys for the support. El cafecito está delicioso. Muchas gracias por el apoyo. If you like what I do, you can also become a Cafecito member. You only have to click on the join button down below to read more about the perks and about the fee. The fee is less than $3 a month. And essentially, you're buying me a cup of coffee. So if you like what I do and if you get a chance, please just take a look. And if you like it, well, you can get a Cafecito membership. Thank you again, Cafecito members. Okay, remember that I am live streaming. So if you have any questions about what we're learning today, please use the live chat for that. The only thing you gotta do is you need to be a subscriber. That's for free, so you can click on the subscribe button down below. Okay, excellent. So, usar. Have you heard of this verb in Spanish? Usar. You'll see my screen in a second. There you go. Usar. Usar has some meanings, some easy ones, some a bit tricky, but overall, it's a very useful verb to learn in Spanish. Usar. U-S-A-R. 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 Excellent. Usar. So let's talk about this verb and let's learn the first meaning of this verb. Excellent. Okay. One sec. Excellent. Okay. So usar. Usar. I'm saying usar too many times, but it's good to know its pronunciation. Usar. Yo uso, tú usas, él usa, nosotros usamos, ustedes usan. Do you know its conjugation? Let me tell you that the conjugation of this verb is regular. So it follows all the grammatical rules when conjugating this verb. So don't worry about, it has its own conjugation. No, don't worry about that. It follows the grammatical rules. So we're good. Excellent. So the meaning of this verb is, the most basic meaning is to use, when you use something. Okay, so that's very easy. Let's look at some examples using this verb. ¿Para qué se usa esa palabra? ¿Para qué se usa esa palabra? The meaning of this is, what is that word used for? You need to know the meaning of a word, right? You need to know the meaning of any word in Spanish. And besides that, you need to know how to use that word in Spanish, if you're learning Spanish, of course. So you want to know, how can you use that word, essentially? This question is about that. How can you use X word, We could be talking about any type of word or any word, right? Something as simple as ¿para qué se usa la palabra caminar? What is that? What is the word caminar used for? How do you use this word? That word is a verb, right? And it means to walk. Caminar, to walk. But essentially, that's what we're asking here. Let's break this down and let's see how this question works. ¿Para qué? ¿Para qué? Is a great phrase that means what for. ¿Qué? Means what, and para means for. Okay, so if you want to know anything, you know, the use of anything, it could be words, it could be machines, it could be I don't know, different kinds of things. You can use this question, ¿para qué? And then you can use the verb usar, just to know the use. You want to know the use, I don't know, of certain thing. Excellent. ¿Para qué? ¿Para qué? ¿Para qué? Do you know the meaning now? What for? So you have it in Spanish, you have it together in the beginning. In English, you have that separate, you know, what, and then at the end you have for, but in Spanish you have that together. ¿Para qué? And then you add the rest. Se is a reflexive pronoun that refers to eat. Okay, se has a few meanings. It means eat. It's a pronoun. Sorry, it's a pronoun, and it means sorry, and it means it. It means also themselves, itself, himself, herself, you know, but we're talking about a thing. In this situation, we're talking about the word. Even though we have palabra here, it's common to use a reflexive pronoun here, the reflexive pronoun se. Okay, so usa is the verb usar. Okay, the verb usar is right there, and we have it conjugated for the personal pronoun. Usa. Yo uso, tú usas, él usa. So technically, present tense for he, she, and you. But when talking about things, you can also use that conjugation. So technically, it, you're talking about it, right? So that's why we're saying usa. Esa, so usa means used. In this situation, similar to that. Esa, palabra esa, means that. And it's feminine because we're talking about a word, la palabra, and that noun is feminine. So that's why palabra, we would say esa palabra, that word. Okay, that's what it means. Now, we have is, right? We have is here in English, but we don't have it in Spanish. So I don't know what to tell you. I mean, we just don't have it in Spanish in this particular situation. So we cannot translate word by word because in this case, it really doesn't work 100%. It's not 100% there. You know, we cannot do that. So remember, ¿para qué is a great little phrase if you want to say what for, right? Let's include is because in English you have it here. What is for, right? And then we have the pronoun se that refers to the word, okay? And then esa, palabra, word, esa, that, usa, comes from the verb usar, and then we have the pronoun se as well. So, ¿para qué se usa esa palabra? What is that word used for? Okay, Excellent. So let's just pay attention to the structure, to the sentence structure. And let's see, we need to pay attention to how it works in Spanish. How does it work in Spanish? You need to really pay attention to that. And just know little tricks here and there, and just to be able to understand the sentence. Excellent. Now, the next phrase, the next sentence is, let's see what we have here. We have red. I didn't wanna do that. Okay. No sé cómo usar la lavadora. No sé cómo usar la lavadora. This means I don't know how to use the washer or the washing machine. You just don't know how it works. You need some help with that. So if you want help with, knowing how to use certain thing, you can use the verb usar for that. It's a very good verb to use. Okay, so no sé, this phrase here is very commonly said in Spanish. It's a basic one, and that means I don't know. You can say it by itself as an answer, or you can just add it to a sentence. You can put it at the beginning of a sentence, and you're saying, I don't know, ... Okay? So, cómo means how. Usar, no sé cómo usar, that means I don't know how to use, okay? When you include cómo to the phrase no sé, if you say the whole phrase no sé cómo, ... you're saying I don't know how ... or how to do something, right? So it's pretty cool that you can add just a verb right after. So you can say no sé cómo despertar temprano. I don't know how to wake up early. No sé cómo lavar la ropa. I don't know how to wash clothes, how to do my laundry pretty much. That's what you're saying. No sé cómo usar el teléfono. I don't know how to use the phone. So if you also want to include a good verb to say, I don't know how to use something, you can include the verb usar. No sé cómo usar la computadora. I don't know how to use the computer or any computer. No sé cómo usar la estufa. I don't know how to use the stove. Okay, so you're basically saying, I don't know how this works. I need help. Please tell me how to use this thing. Okay, so now we have the noun lavadora. Lavadora, that means washer, and we include the definite article la because we have lavadora here. Lavadora is feminine, and that's why we need a definite feminine definite article. La lavadora, the washer. Okay? No sé cómo usar la lavadora. I don't know how to use the washer. Por favor, ayúdame. Please help me. You can say that as well. So this is something very interesting, how the verb usar means to use. Very, very simple. That's the main meaning of the verb usar. And remember, the conjugation of this verb is regular. So you don't have to worry about a, tricky conjugation. You just have to remember that it follows the grammatical rules. So you can say yo uso, tú usas, él usa, nosotros usamos, or present tense, that was present tense. Present tense can be usé, tú, yo usé, tú usaste, él usó, and so on. So yeah, it's very regular. So that's very good. Do you guys have any questions? Any questions about this verb usar, usar, when it means to use? Any questions? Estar, ¿cómo van las cosas? Ujú. Muy bien, muchas gracias. ¿Cómo van las cosas para ti? ¿Cómo van las cosas contigo? Espero que bien. Estoy usando un teléfono para hacer llamadas. Ok. Al estar en la industria mecánica, debes aprender a usar una herramienta. Great examples. Thank you for sharing, Estar. Thank you for sharing and welcome. Okay. Now let's continue. Let's learn the next meaning of the verb usar. Usar, usar can also mean to wear when you're wearing something. It's a common thing to say in Spanish. Obviously, there are other ways to say to wear in Spanish, but one way to say to wear in Spanish is usar. Okay, usar. For example, I can say, nunca me ha gustado usar corbata. Nunca me ha gustado usar corbata. What does this mean? Do you know the meaning of this? Well, the meaning of this is I have never liked wearing a tie. Okay, so we're talking specifically about accessories, like we're talking about ties, we're talking about scarves, and so on. So this is a perfect example just to know how to use usar when you want to say to wear. Okay, now let's see how this phrase or sentence works. Nunca, nunca, nunca means never. Okay. Me is a reflexive pronoun, and in this situation, it means I. Okay. When you say this whole phrase, me ha gustado, it means different things. One of the meanings is I have liked. And when you say nunca, nunca me ha gustado, that whole thing means I have never liked something. Okay. So if you want to remember this sentence, this is a very good one to say, I have never liked something in particular. Nunca me ha gustado, that. I have never liked that. This comes from the verb gustar, which means to like, and a comes from the verb haber, and it's very commonly used in Spanish. And when you say me ha, it's similar to saying I have. I know that tener means to have in Spanish, but in this situation, because the verb have, you use it for other things other than to say that you have something. Okay, in this situation, it's the same thing. It's not like you have something, you have something in your hands. It's, I have never liked something, nunca me ha gustado, and we're talking about something in this situation. Usar, that something is usar, which means wearing in this situation. We're not saying usando, would be the gerund of usar. We're not saying that, because when you say me ha gustado and then you add a verb right after, you need it in the infinitive form, which means you don't conjugate the verb. So you don't need the gerund, you need the infinitive form. In this situation, that form is usar, okay? Corbata, corbata. Corbata. You're just saying tie, okay? La corbata, the tie or tie, you know, that thing that men wear. So that corbata, la corbata, the tie or tie. And we don't have we don't need that because you're talking about nothing specific. You're just talking about ties, you know, any tie. So, nunca me ha gustado usar una corbata. That's correct. And that is similar to saying I have never liked wearing a tie. Okay. So, that is pretty good, pretty good. You can change this to anything else, of course. You can remove this and replace it with anything else. For example, nunca me ha gustado comer pastel. Okay, so you have a verb and then you have a noun. Nunca me ha gustado comer pastel. That means I have never liked eating cake or eating a cake, you know? For example, eating a cake, any cake, right? We're talking about any cake. You just don't like cake. You don't like eating any cake. I'm repeating myself. That's funny. But anyways, in this situation, we are talking about wearing, right? And let's focus on that. We're using the verb usar. Remember, if you want to say, usar, and you want to say to wear, just remember that you're talking or you can use it when referring to accessories, like corbata, a tie, a hat, I don't know, a ring, anything that is like that. You're not saying about a dress. You could, some people might say it, but I'm just saying that it's very commonly said in Spanish, or it's very commonly used, the verb usar, if you want to say to wear when talking about accessories. Okay? Excellent. 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 Now, let's look at another example because we have another good example. And this one is we're not talking about ties, hats, or any other accessory. We're talking about something different. Let's look at the next example. Todos los alumnos deben usar uniforme. Todos los alumnos deben usar uniforme. This sounds kind of harsh. What are we talking about? This sounds like a command. You're saying to someone something specific, and let's see what this means. All students must wear a uniform. Okay, so this might be, I don't know, maybe a teacher is saying this to parents, that all students must wear a uniform. Some schools, I think some schools have that rule. So when talking about that, you can also use the verb usar. Okay? Usar. Todos means all, okay? All or everybody. Los, the, we don't have it in English. Alumnos, students, and this is a definite article, plural one, and also masculine. So los alumnos. That's because alumnos is a noun, it's masculine, and it's also plural. So los alumnos. You cannot say el alumnos because that doesn't sound right. You gotta match everything. If you have plural nouns, you need plural articles. And also if you have masculine nouns, then you need a masculine definite article as well. So just keep that in mind. And the same goes, if you have any feminine nouns, so it's the same thing, feminine articles, plural feminine articles. So you need to pay attention to the noun for sure. Deben means must, okay? And this deben is specifically for plural, okay? If we're talking about one student, then you don't need the letter N, okay? But if you're talking about more than one student, then you need deben, okay? Deben, must. Usar, wear. Uniforme, uniforme. That means uniform, okay? So we don't have A in Spanish, but that's what it means. It's similar to saying that. Todos los alumnos deben usar uniforme. All students must wear a uniform. Okay, so that is very interesting. And once again, usar here means to wear, and usar here also means to wear. In this example, we're talking about a tie, right? It could be a hat, it could be a scarf, it could be a ring, bracelets, you name it. Or it could be about uniforms. Okay, so, or a uniform. There you go. So now you know that you can use this verb if you want to say this. If you want to say to wear. Okay. Excellent. Do you have any questions? Any questions? No questions? Everything's clear? Remember that you can also practice your Spanish just like Estar did a few minutes ago. You can share, you can share examples using the verb usar. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Or if you have any questions, please let me know. Let me know. Okay, the next meaning of the verb usar. Let's see. Meaning number 3. Sin usar. Okay, now we're talking about a phrase here. Okay, we just don't have the verb usar. We also have another word with it. So sin usar, sin usar. So this is a term, and obviously, and it means unused. When something is new, that you haven't used it, you haven't used it. So we could be talking about things, specifically things. We're talking about things. It could be a TV, it could be a toaster, it could be anything that can be new. Okay, so for example, tengo una licuadora sin usar. Tengo una licuadora sin usar. This means, oh, well, there's more. ¿La quieres? Tengo una licuadora sin usar. ¿La quieres? This means I have an unused blender. Do you want it? Do you want it? Do you want it or not? I mean, that's something nice to say to someone if you need to, if you have something you don't use and you want to see if someone else can use it or needs that. So that's very nice for sure. So let's break this down. Let's see how it works. Tengo, yo tengo. We don't need yo, which means I, right? But we need tengo. And this means I have. Tengo. Tengo sueño. Well, that's a different thing because tengo sueño means I'm sleepy, right? But technically you're saying I have, I don't know, like I'm sleepy. That I cannot translate that literally, but tengo means I have. Tengo una manzana. I have an apple. Tengo dos licuadoras. I have two blenders. So tengo means I have. It's very simple and it's very basic in Spanish. It's a good word. Tengo, by the way, comes from the verb tener, which means to have. Okay, it's pretty clear. It's pretty clear, right? Una means an. Okay, licuadora. So this is an indefinite article, feminine in singular, and that's because we have a singular and feminine noun, la licuadora. La licuadora means the blender. Una licuadora means a blender, okay? So we have right after sin usar. So, when talking about adjectives and nouns in Spanish, in English is, adjective and then noun. In Spanish is noun and adjective. So the other way around. So that's why we have sin usar after licuadora. And the whole term licuadora sin usar means unused blender. Okay. And then just the question, ¿la quieres? La is a definite article, feminine, and it means the, but here it doesn't mean the, it means it, because la can be a pronoun, okay? So if you don't want to say licuadora, licuadora, licuadora all the time, you can just say la. Just like in English, you can say it. In Spanish, you can say la for, we're talking about feminine nouns, okay? La manzana. Tengo una manzana. ¿La quieres? I have an apple. Do you want it? Tengo una mochila. I have a backpack. ¿La quieres? Do you want it? Tengo una piña. I have a pineapple. ¿La quieres? Do you want it? Okay, so I think you got the point there. Quieres comes from the verb querer, which means to want, okay, when you want something. So when you say la quieres, you're saying a question, right? You're asking, then that means, do you want it? Okay, do you want it? ¿La quieres? If we have a masculine noun, for example, tengo un, let's say, tengo un teléfono. I have a cell phone or just a phone. ¿Lo quieres? So really quickly, I'm just gonna change this noun to a masculine noun. So tengo un teléfono or celular. I think that's better. Celular. It's the same thing. Celular refers to cell phone. Okay. So just let me erase all of this. Okay. Tengo un celular sin usar. I have an unused, phone or cell phone. Okay. cell phone. Lo quieres. Lo quieres? Do you want it? Okay, so just pay attention because we changed 3 things here. The indefinite article, we changed it to masculine. The noun, el celular, it looks like it's feminine, but it's actually masculine. Un celular, as a cell phone, okay? And then we also changed this, lo, and that means it. So this is replacing un celular, okay? My arrow is terrible. Sorry. Okay, so that's what this means. That's how you use the verb, the phrase sin usar. Okay, so this is unused. So basically, you're just saying it's a new cell phone. Okay, so instead of saying nuevo, you're saying sin usar. Of course, when talking about unused, it means that you could have probably bought that a year ago or 2 years, but you forgot about the thing, right? And you're not using it. You're not gonna use it, so you can just give it to someone who needs it. Okay, so this term is about that. It could be new, it could be kind of old, but it's unused. Okay, so that's pretty good. I have another example. Let's talk about it. Let's see what we have. Me quedan 4 días de vacaciones sin usar. This means I have 4 days of unused vacation time left. So this is very good. We're not talking about things. We're talking about days, and specifically vacation days. So let's break this down. Me, in this situation, well, when you say me quedan, you are just referring to, you have something left. So it's similar to saying I have left. Okay, similar to that. It's not a literal translation, but when you say me quedan, that means I have something left. Okay, quedan comes from the verb quedar. Oh my God, my arrows. I just cannot. I cannot. I cannot have decent arrows. Okay. Quedan comes from the verb quedar, and that means to have left or to be left, okay? Or also to stay. When you're talking about, somebody staying because that person doesn't feel well or whatever, they're staying at home. Me quedo en casa. I'm staying home for whatever reason. Okay, so quedar is a great verb that we need to talk about in the future. But when you say me quedan, that means I have something left. Okay, in this situation, cuatro. Cuatro means 4. Días. Días means days. De means off. Okay, so we have off here. Also means from. It depends on the situation, of course. Vacaciones. Vacaciones means vacation. So in Spanish, it's a common thing to say vacaciones when referring to vacation, but it also, you can also say vacación, okay? But it's commonly, I would say more common to say vacaciones. Me voy de vacaciones, I'm gonna go on vacation somewhere. Who knows where? But you're talking about vacation. So it looks plural, but actually refers to vacation. Okay. Sin usar. We have the term we're learning today, and that means unused. Me quedan 4 días de vacaciones sin usar. I have 4 days of unused vacation time. Let's include time left. Vacaciones, we don't have time in this sentence, tiempo. We don't have it, but when talking about vacation, it means vacation, vacation time, and so on. Okay, so vacaciones, vacaciones. Quiero unas vacaciones. I want, some days off. I want to go on vacation somewhere. Or just stay home, right? That'd be nice. That'd be nice. Okay, so remember, sin usar means unused, and we're using the verb usar in a phrase. You don't have to worry about conjugate the verb. Don't worry about that. You can just use the term sin usar, and that's it. That means unused. Excellent. Do you guys have any questions? Any questions? Mi madre está tratando de usar la computadora. Great example. Great example. Thanks for sharing, Estar. Okay, so any questions? Any questions? We have the last meaning. Today we're learning 4. I try to find another meaning. I usually let you know 5 meanings when talking about a verb, but this verb doesn't have too many meanings. It has 4 for sure. I found only 4 common ones, but yeah, that's why we don't have 5 tonight. We just have 4. Excellent. Or this evening, yeah. Yeah, it's already evening, right? Well, for me it is. Excellent. So the next term is, let's see what we have. Okay, what do we have? Usarse. Usarse. Usarse means to be in fashion. Oh man. You can also use this. You can say this, when referring to the verb to use, when it can mean to use. Se usa así. It's used like this. Okay, so that is for sure. You can use reflexive pronouns with the verb usar, okay, when it means to use. But today we're just gonna talk about, well, for this meaning, we're just focusing on the term to be in fashion. Previously, I told you how to use the verb usar when you want to say to wear, right? No me gusta usar corbatas. I don't like to wear ties or a tie, right? Or, you need to wear a uniform. Necesitas usar un uniforme. Yep, that's fine. But now we're talking about fashion, a little bit of fashion, right? So let's see how to use this verb when you want it to mean to be in fashion. Okay, something trendy, right? Okay. ¿Qué es lo que se usa hoy en día? ¿Qué es lo que se usa hoy en día? This means what is in fashion nowadays? What is trendy? What is people wearing? That's essentially what you're asking here. So let's break it down. Let's see how the phrase, the sentence works. Okay. Oh, by the way, remember, if we have this means that you can use reflexive pronouns. Se, te, le, nos. Okay, so remember that. que, that means what. Okay. ¿Qué es, you know this one. This comes from the verb ser. It means to be. And in this situation, is. ¿Qué es? What is? Lo refers to it. It's a reflexive pronoun. We don't have it here, but it's common to, have it in Spanish. In many different situations, you can have this. ¿Qué es lo que te gusta? What do you like? You're not saying it, which lo means it, but in Spanish you need it. ¿Qué es lo que te gusta? What do you like? Okay. ¿Qué es lo que quieres? What do you want? So you could say ¿qué quieres? But also you can say ¿qué es lo que quieres? What do you want? You're just adding it, something similar to it in Spanish, in there. When asking, what do you want? Okay. ¿Qué es lo? So lo, it's a pronoun, as I said before. It's similar to saying it. We don't have it in English right now in this example. ¿Qué? By the way, lo que is also a phrase that is used commonly in Spanish. And lo que, two words, also means what. For example, if someone asks, ¿qué es lo que se usa hoy en día? What is in fashion nowadays? And you can answer lo que se usa hoy en día is ... Okay, so that's something common to say in Spanish. And when you say lo que se usa, that means what is trendy or what is in fashion is ... Okay, so this can also mean what when replying, when answering, not replying, but answering the question. So, ¿qué es lo que? What is? I know it's a lot. Sé, lo que sé. We're talking again about something. Se is also a reflexive pronoun and it means a bunch of things itself. So we have it twice pretty much here. I know it is confusing, but you know why we have it here? Because we have the verb usar. And usar can use reflexive pronouns. So this is one part, right? This is one part. And now you still have to say se and also usa because we are, saying usar and also the reflexive pronoun. Se usa in this situation in fashion. Man, too much red here. Hoy en día. Hoy en día is a common phrase that means nowadays. Okay? Hoy en día, nowadays. So just remember that. I know there's a lot here, but I'm breaking down everything. And we are talking about what is in fashion. What do people wear nowadays? Okay? I don't know really. Do you know the answer? Oh man, do you know the answer? I don't know. I'm not on social media that much. So I don't know. Anyway. Let's continue. Let's continue and let's see what else we have here. Okay. So, en los 80s se usaba ropa muy colorida. En los 80s se usaba ropa muy colorida. Again, en los 80s se usaba ropa muy colorida. So this means in the 80s, colorful clothes were in fashion. Okay, yeah, yeah, very colorful clothes. Okay, so en means in. Los, when you're talking about decades, you know, you're talking about 90s, 80s, 70s, and so on. You say the name and then you add an S, just like in English, 80s, 90s. So it's the same in Spanish, but you say the number in Spanish and just add an S. En los ochentas, en los noventas, en los setentas. Okay, so you're basically just doing that. You just add an S. And of course, don't forget the definite article los ochentas, the 80s. En los ochentas, in the 80s. Se, we have se again. So se usaba, we have the verb usar, right, as well. Se usaba. And that means we're in fashion, okay? Something was in fashion. In this situation, we are talking about colorful clothes. And you say that in Spanish like this. Ropa, ropa means clothes. Muy, muy. So I don't have it here, but it means very. In the 80s, very similar to saying that very colorful clothes were in fashion. So very, muy, sorry. Colorida means colorful. Okay. So when you are saying, when you have a feminine noun, la ropa, then you need a feminine adjective, colorida. Okay. When you have a masculine noun, like for example, el auto or el carro, that means the car, and you want to say colorful car, then you say el carro colorido. Okay, so you just have to replace the letter A for the letter O if you have a masculine noun. But in this situation, we have a feminine noun. So that's why we need colorida. Okay, and that means colorful. Colorida, colorida. Excellent. So remember, usarse means also to be in fashion. That's one use of the verb usar, usarse. Okay? To be in fashion, to be trendy. Do you guys have any questions about what we're learning today? About what we learned today? Do you have any questions? Let me know. Oh man, time flies, huh? Time flies. Time flies. Okay. Los ochentas nunca van a morir. Hello, Greeny King. I know, right? Los ochentas siempre van a vivir. Oh man, yeah. I mean, it was interesting. All the fashion back then. Oh man, los ochentas and everything. It was not only the clothing, but also, I don't know, like anything, haircuts and makeup and music and everything. Very, very unique. Welcome, by the way. Hassan, ¿cómo dices baggy clothes were in fashion in the 90s? Well, just like Let me show you. For example, we can use this example for that. En los 90s se usaba baggy clothes. For that, baggy. Baggy is an interesting term. I'm just, okay. En los 90s, sorry, se usaba ropa muy holgada. Holgada means baggy, okay? And there are other terms for that. You can say suelto or suelta, ropa muy suelta. That means also baggy clothes. Or ancha. Ancha means wide, but you can, when talking about clothes, you can also say ropa muy ancha. So, sorry, I said suelto, suelta. I don't know if I put suelta. That's the other one that is, baggy, other than holgada, or ancha, ropa ancha. Okay, so that also means baggy clothes. Or specifically in Mexico, you can say guanga, ropa guanga. And that means baggy clothes as well. En los 90s se usaba ropa muy guanga or ropa guanga, Muy means very, very, very. But if you just want to say baggy clothes, you can say ropa guanga or suelta or holgada or ancha, okay? Guanga is a term from Mexico specifically, and the rest are commonly known everywhere in the Spanish world. I like this one, ropa guanga. Ropa guanga. Very good, very good. Great question, great question. You're welcome, Hassan. Mi tarjeta de crédito se queda sin usar porque no tengo suficiente dinero para ir de compras. Great example. Thank you, Lindsay, and welcome. Los comestibles son muy caros hoy en día. Los comestibles? Yeah, I mean, comestibles. Are we referring, groceries, are we referring to groceries or edibles? Groceries, I mean, you could say la comida, food. I'm not sure what kind of edibles. But thank you for sharing. Let's see. Everything is expensive. Todo está caro hoy en día. Everything is expensive nowadays. Great example. En los años 80, Miami era una montaña rusa. Really? That sounds crazy. Oh man. Fancies, are you from Spain? I'm not from Spain. But if you're wondering about the Spanish I teach, is it from Spain? Is it from Mexico? Is it from Argentina? Is it from... I'm not focused, or I'm not like teaching a specific kind of Spanish from a specific country, Latin American country or Spain. I teach Spanish Spanish terms that are used everywhere in Latin America and in Spain. So it's a more neutral, if you want to say. I can say that it's more like a neutral Spanish, so it can be understood everywhere. That's a lot. That's the thing. A lot of people ask, "Oh man, which kind of Spanish should I learn?" And it's like, just learn the basics first, and then you can focus on whatever type of Spanish you like. Because if I talk with someone from Argentina or Peru or Spain, I will understand what they're saying. So the differences are not too many. It's just, certain slang, certain expressions that they use that can be a bit different. But overall, Spanish is, we all understand Spanish, So, yeah, don't you worry about that. I mean, if you really want to focus on, learning Spanish from someone who is from Spain, then, I mean, you can. You can if you want, but it's pretty much the same Spanish. Quise decir groceries. La comida, el mandado, la despensa. La despensa means, groceries as well. So yeah, it has quite a few meanings, groceries. It could mean los comestibles, although it's not that common. Not that common. In Latin America, maybe in Spain. I think in Spain might be, los comestibles. In Latin America, los abarrotes, el abasto, las provisiones, la despensa, el mandado. I say la despensa or el mandado. Okay, but there's other ways to say the same thing. In Latin America, there's those terms. Los comestibles is a more general term, but it's not too popular in Latin America. So that's another thing. When you guys ask questions about, oh, like this word, is it from this country or this other country? When I try my best to let you know, if I know a term that is used in Mexico, for example, I will let you know. If I'm talking about a term that is used in Spain, I will let you know that for sure. I'm trying my best to do that for sure. But there are terms that are used everywhere, in Spanish. Okay, you guys want to know where I'm from? I've said it before. I'm from Mexico, but I don't live in Mexico. You know, I live in Canada. Long time ago. So I'm a Mexican Canadian. Okay. Okay. So there you go. You have it. I'm not from Argentina. I'm not from Peru. I'm a Mexican Canadian. There you go. Now you know. Okay. Me gusta llevar ropa guanga con mangas largas en el verano. That's awesome. Great example. Great example. Perfect. Perfect. That's great. That's great. That was a great example. Greeny King. Okay, guys. I think that's it for today. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for interacting with me, for your questions, for sharing examples. Thank you so much. My favorite example is me gusta llevar ropa guanga. You can also say usar. Me gusta usar ropa guanga con mangas largas en el verano. Or me gusta, llevar is like to bring, right? To bring. Usar can be used in different ways, as I said before, we could be talking about accessories like, a hat, tie, when you wear it, or when it's in fashion, or when talking about uniforms and whatnot. If you want to say also trendy clothes, or for example baggy clothes, or certain kinds of clothes, you can also use the verb usar for that. Me gusta usar ropa guanga con mangas largas en el verano. So that's also correct. Thank you for sharing. Hello, I'm from an English speaking country. However, I'm learning something new words than you. However, I'm learning something new. Words than you. I'm a bit confused, but thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Gracias, de nada. En los Estados Unidos, dependiendo de la población, quiero hablar similar a ellos. Okay, interesting. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing. Okay, so that's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this lesson, please give it a like. That helps me a lot. Remember that I live stream every week. I try my best to live stream every week. So if you don't want to miss out my streams, you can click on the bell icon next to the subscribe button and turn all the notifications on. Sorry, I need water. So YouTube lets you know every time I live stream. And that's it. Take care. Also, I have a Spanish community on Discord. So if you want to join, that's for free. You can find the link to that in the video description down below. Please, please, please read the rules before joining. That's very important. And if you want to support this channel even more, just check out the membership that you can get on this channel. You can click on the join button down below to read more about the perks and whatnot. So feel free to do that. Thank you so much. Take care. And well, I'll see you next time. Bye. Adiós. Hasta la vista. Hasta luego. Nos vemos. Bye.